About Women with Grit? What is the story behind it? How do we get started with it? You know, I've got partner in crime here, Lee Willette.
Hey, what's going on?
And I'm Sherelle Lands, and we're just so excited about this concept called Women with Grit, where we interview just exceptional women within the community and around the world who are doing phenomenal things. So how do we get started with this concept, Lee?
Well, I think ultimately it was a reaction to COVID. We were literally working on a different concept that involved women and really helping women have the opportunities to progress in their careers, and we're really putting something together to do that. And we had all these people lined up to interview and to get information from, and
COVID happened.
So.
That changed life for everyone.
It did, and so for us, we were talking one day, and so we were talking about what we're doing, and I said, I'm thinking about doing this podcast, and I'm thinking about doing this, and you said, okay, let's do it. And so Women with Grit came.
There it is. Big on execution, we make it happen.
Yes, so it's been exciting.
Yes, it has. And we've had just phenomenal guests even over the last year, and looking forward to all that's coming ahead. So how can they reach us?
They can reach us on YouTube, Exceptional Women with Grit. You can subscribe to our page. You can check out our Facebook page, Women with Grit, or you can go to our website, womenwithgrit.com.
That's it.
And the best way to catch us is Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time, when Sherelle and I are live with our guests. And literally, I think the most exciting thing for me is what we talked about. We wanted to have a program that brought in women from around the world. So that's our globe here. We literally interview people in Bogota, Colombia, up over in London, and then all over the United States as well. So that's been exciting. That's one of the benefits of COVID. Everybody's used to this virtual world, and nobody feels like they have to fly in to be live in the studio.
That's right. So hopefully you will join us live or catch the replay, right?
Replays, that's right. We have a bunch of replays, and I mean, if I were you, I would binge listen. People binge watch on Netflix, binge listen and watch Women with Grit. There have been some phenomenal interviews and some phenomenal tips that will help anyone. We have men and women that watch. And I think the tips that you get, the things that you learn from these women that are our guests will help anyone advance their careers, advance their lives, and just really live a full life and a happy life. And I think that's exciting.
Yes, I will agree 100%. So if you're interested, definitely join us, follow us, engage with us, like us, share it, all of those things. And if you know a phenomenal woman or a woman with grit that you would recommend being on the show, be sure that you write us on any one of those forums, and a member of our team will get back to you.
Yes. And don't forget, if you have a product or service, a company that you want to promote or a cause, give us a shout. We're happy to do that. There is a cost. But it's not much, not yet. So you better get in while it's cheap.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you. And so far, we'll see you online.
Talk to you later. Peace.
Bye. Excited. How about now? Can you hear me now? Thank you, Ebony. How was that reading lips for the first couple of minutes? All right, let me rewind that and run that back. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Women with Grit. We're just so excited that you are on tonight. We're the show where we interview exceptional women around the world who are doing dynamic things. All right. Ebony says she can hear me. Hey, Cheryl. I think we're good on volume, right? Thumbs up. Okay, awesome. Well, we interview amazing women around the world who are just doing phenomenal things in their field and industry. And tonight is no difference. We have another exceptional woman with grit that I will bring to the stage shortly by the name of Miss Carrie Peele. And listen, when I read her bio, you guys are in for an amazing treat. So grab your favorite snack, your beverage of choice, grab a pillow, a friend, and tell them that we are on and you do not want to miss this. But without further ado, I'm sure you guys have noticed partner in crime he'll be joining us in just a moment. So Lee, if you're watching and you hear me, come on in the room. Right? We have a good time just on the show. So I'm so excited that you all are joining us this evening. And before I move any further, I want to make sure that I take time to thank our sponsors who take the time to make sure that we have a platform where we can celebrate amazing women around the world. So to Lisa with MJC Insurance, she can be reached at 615-873-1988 or Lisa at mjcins.com, where they will shop over 30 companies to get you the right homeowners, auto, as well as workers' comp. Lauren at Moulette Investment Services for all of your benefit planning needs, 401k, disability, medical, as well as dental. And she can be reached at 615-627-0968 or Lauren at Moulette Investment Services.com. Mr. Terrell Perry, if you're in the room, Terrell Perry can be reached at Terrell at MouletteInvestmentServices.com for all of your wealth planning, life insurance, long-term care needs as well. And he can be reached at 615-627-0968. And then Vision Strategy Management, where we believe in building effective teams and companies who win. I am so excited about the programs and dynamic things that we have going on, and also got a special announcement at the very end of this show. So be sure to stay tuned. Go grab your friends and let them know that we are on. Quick shout out to Ebony, who has already said hello. Hey, Ebony, where are you joining in from? LD Cisco, hello. How are you? Where are you joining in from? Cheryl, how are you? Thank you for joining in tonight as well. And Lee said he'll be in just a few. All right, awesome. So I'm so excited to introduce our guest tonight, Miss Carrie Peele. Now, I'm going to take a minute to read her amazing and extensive bio because you guys are in for a treat. And I met Carrie through my sister. We call ourselves sisters in the WBC. So I'm super excited to present her before you. She is the co-founder and director of Jade Lending. She's the founder and board chair of Athena of Triangle. It's a nonprofit, the chair of the Women's Presidents Organization out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And she is a seasoned entrepreneur with over 35 years at the helm. So Carrie is the founder and CEO of Mako Documents, a division of a multi-million-dollar medical laboratory. Mako Documents stores, scans, shreds, and manages a broad range of health information, including medical records, business records, and radiology films. Carrie is also the founder and CEO of Jade Lending, a capital fund supporting women and minority entrepreneurs in the established business seeking working capital to achieve growth potential. Jade Lending is a social impact lending platform whose mission is to support the growth of women or minority-owned businesses. She is also passionate about paying it forward and is the founder of Athena of Triangle. The win is to empower women as strong leaders in either multinational corporations or their own business ventures through the Athena leadership model. Carrie, in her early 1900s, started a luxury transportation company with 3 credit cards. Would love to hear more about that, Carrie. Carrie and her team were also able to build Blue Diamond Worldwide Transportation into the largest woman-owned transportation company in the Carolinas. She is a seasoned public speaker and community organizer. She facilitates the Raleigh, North Carolina Women's Presidents Organization. And the magnitude of that is that it is a mastermind group for women business owners of over $1 million in revenue. She founded and facilitated the Triangle Ladies Power Lunch from 2010 to 2015. She has been named one of the top women in business, Enterprising Woman of the Year, Business Leader Woman Extraordinaire, Top 50 Entrepreneurs in the Triangle and Triangle Business Journal. The Top 25 Women-Owned Businesses in the Triangle, Pretty in Pink Leadership Award, the Shelton Media World Changer of the Year, the Top 300 Small Business of the South by Business Leader, the Top 100 Fleet in the U.S. by LCT Magazine. Definitely did not want to shortchange the magnitude of the woman that is before you. So throw up some cymbals, some claps, and let's go ahead and welcome Carrie to the stage. Hi, Carrie.
How are you? I need to shorten that bio. Oh my gosh.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Yes, I'm great. And yourself?
I am absolutely fantastic. It's a beautiful night in Raleigh, North Carolina.
That is fantastic. And thank you for taking the time to spend your night with us, really getting an opportunity to learn more about you and just the magnitude of what you have done and what you do for the community. So thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for asking me. Or did I just beg you? Maybe I was knocking on your door and said, please let me in. Please let me in.
Not at all. We definitely believe that you belong here. And guess who just joined us as well? Haley.
Hey.
Fresh off the plane.
Fresh off the plane.
You are North Carolina. You went to NCCU here in North Carolina.
I did.
See, you're a Raleigh boy too. All good things come out of Raleigh.
Yes. Yep. In fact, one of my very best friends, a couple of my really good friends, but one of them was just in town. He graduated from North Carolina State, and he's in RDU area. My godson graduated from NC State. His dad graduated from Central with me, and then we just saw a good friend of another one of my best friends in Dallas. We just got back from Dallas for some planning stuff, but Kelvin graduated from UNC, Chapel Hill, and Duke, and all that stuff. So great time.
We're glad to have you educated in this great state of North Carolina.
Yeah, so we have a son at A&T right now. He's a sophomore. Shout out to Daryl. Yep. Yeah. So we have a senior. If we can get him recruited down there to play football, then that would be great too. Yeah. But great to see you, Carrie. Sorry, I jumping on a little bit late.
Don't you worry about it, Lee. Don't you worry about it. So
we're right on time.
I have to ask you. So I always start a conversation of, tell me a fun fact about Lee and Sherelle that nobody else knows. I'll start. So
okay.
Fun fact about me, in 7th grade, I always loved to go back to high school, right? In 7th grade, in a little town that I was raised in called Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. In 7th grade, I was the biscuit queen. There you go.
Wow.
Pop that, Lee. Pop that. I was the biscuit queen of Knock High School in the 7th grade.
Wow.
All
right.
I don't know if I can top that. I don't think I can top that.
Come on, tell us a fun fact. Go back to your high school days. Tell us a fun fact, Lee.
Oh gosh, I have to think. That was a long time ago for me. I'll let Sherelle do it first. And
no, you were late. You were late.
I'm gonna come up with one. I just have to think through it because it's been so long.
Okay, so a fun fact about me that no one, I share a lot. In since we're going back to high school, in high school, I was on the crew team.
Okay.
Crew?
We'll take that. Okay. So for me, I got arrested for curfew.
Uh-oh.
Was that at 9 o'clock or at 11 o'clock? I don't know. What was that?
It was probably like 10 or something like that. It was so it was back when I was in high school, but I was probably I must have been 14 or 15. and you start talking back to your mother and your parents, and they put you out the house momentarily. Either that or you leave. They say, and so, yeah, it was one of those. Yeah.
Well, Carrie, let's dig into you and your story of grit. We would love to learn a little bit more about you and how you got to where you are today.
Sure, I'd be more than happy to share. So I grew up in a small little town in Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. I was one of 4 hellions. I was the second child.
Okay.
And the fun part about me is I remember the kindergarten teacher calling my mother and calling my mother and father in to school and saying, "We can't seem to punish her. When we put her in time, she's just laughing, dancing, imaginary friends. I think I still have them, And so the kindergarten teacher said to my mother, "How do you punish her?" And my mom just said, "We don't. You just put her in the corner and just let her play." So. And but I was just a kid that was always happy, always just, saw the good things in everything. And I was really blessed with that. Really, I just see the good in stuff. And we try not to ever use no or not in our conversations. Everything is positive. But I grew up, and when we graduated from high school, I wasn't exceptional in high school. I barely passed with a B or a C. I wasn't. You know how you're sitting there in your high school graduation class, and you open up the folder that shows all of your classmates, your 300 classmates, and you're just going like flipping the page. Flipping the page. Where am I on this thing? But anyway, so no, my parents were both entrepreneurs. My mother had a chain of lumber centers, and my father had a heavy equipment business. So I was the only kid, Lee, that when I was 16 years old, I drove a brand new candy apple red 2.5-ton dump truck. So, if you broke down, I'll tow you. That's kind of thing.
Yes.
Throw it. Yeah, but
cool.
Anyway, had a great life, a great childhood. Just lived in the country, and we all. I'll tell you a funny story about we lived on this road called McKay Road, and there were 4 or 5 families, and so we all had kind of a large piece of property. And my father elected himself a sheriff of McKay Road, right?
Okay.
So the farm across the street was owned by the veterinarian. So we had this trade system where we traded everything. And so us kids could have any animal we wanted, and old Doc Pete's would put it back together for us. We just had everything. And then my favorite lady up the street, she owned the candy factory. Now, this was back in the early 70s, okay, or even in the late 60s. But every Friday night, Sissy would come by and drop off a bag of the Misfits chocolates, And so, us kids had chocolate every Friday. Who knew that sugar and caffeine were not great, get us all kind of hepped up.
Yes.
And then the other farm was the Angus beef farm. So we all had really nice cuts of meat in our freezer.
Right.
And my father had this huge excavating company in which he plowed all the roads in the wintertime. And if your cow died, Sherelle, he'd dig a hole and give your horse. Yeah. So it was a great childhood, and we were expected to go to work right after high school, and so that's what we did. So yeah. And the first job that I ever got was in a little town called Laurinburg, North Carolina.
Ah,
That's how I came.
so how did you connect to Laurinburg from Pennsylvania?
Well, it was my mother had a chain of lumber centers, and us four little hellions were expected to always work in either your mama's company or your daddy's company.
Okay.
And so every summer I went to work with my mom, and they would, oh my God, Lee and Sherelle, they would put me in the basement of the lumber centers, and I would key in the entry because that was before, like, oh my God, it was horrible. And you take this extrovert and stick her in a basement with no and nobody, and it's like, and I'm just talking to myself and keying, oh, that's not correct. Okay, but that's all right. That's all right. Nobody pays attention to that. So my mother kind of fired me and told me I had to go work for my dad. So
so her chain extended from Pennsylvania into North Carolina and other places?
Yeah. Well, she had all of it was called Busy Beaver Lumber Centers. And I just loved it. And we had them in Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, New York, and that sort of thing. So, yeah. My mother was a pioneer, Sherelle, we just never know about our parents. We just think they're mom.
That's right.
We had that conversation.
Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom was having lunches with the mayor of Pittsburgh and all this other kind of stuff. And the only thing I remember my mother that was like the biggest win that I've ever had was she brought me home a Pittsburgh Steelers autograph of Rocky Bleier. And I'm just yay, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So there you go.
Okay. Wow.
That's awesome. So one of the things that you mentioned, Carrie, was that, for the most part, no pretty much limit was not allowed in your household. Do you believe that saying no limits creativity or the dreams that someone may have?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. You asked me a while ago, what makes you determined to have grit? And the answer is that I never accept no as an answer. So if Sherelle tells me no, I'll say, oh, I'll put you down as a maybe. Okay. That's a maybe.
Yeah.
And it gives me a chance to either change Sherelle's opinion or buy from me, Sherelle, or whatever, so.
Gotcha.
Just all in how you look at the positive side. So
accentuate the positives. That's right.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So tell us about your companies. We see Mako Documents and Jade Lending.
Oh, yes, and we have a whole bunch of other side hustles, Lee. That's the beautiful.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And so I started in the very beginning in my very early 20s with two little babies in tow, and again, not two nickels to rub together. And but I knew that the only way that I could be in charge of my future is if I was in charge of my life, which in charge of my wins. I don't talk about money. I never talk about money. I talk about wins. Okay. If you talk about money, you go down a rabbit hole. Okay, Sherelle, how much money do you make? How much money do you make, Lee? That sort of thing. No, it's the wins. What were your wins today? And wins always come with money. So if you look at it as in wins, it's a whole lot better. So
Gotcha.
Be in charge of your wins. I love that.
And so I started my first company on 3 credit cards. Nobody would give me a bank loan. I have no idea why. I was a single mother with 2 kids, and probably, when you're married and get divorced back in those days, you didn't have your own credit rating. So
right.
I got 3 credit cards and took the max I could possibly take. And I can remember this story as it was yesterday, as I walk into the bank and the bank teller says, Miss Peele, how can I help you? And I said, I want to take $15,000, 5 on this card, 5 on this card, 5 on this card. And I want you to put it all in $100 bills and put it in this brown paper bag and give it to me. And she's like, what are you doing with it? I said, I'm going to go out there and give that to that guy out there. And I'm buying my first limousine. And she said, is this a good idea? And I'm there, absolutely it is. The dear Lord looks out for fools like me every day, girlfriend. That was not a good idea. But I was blessed enough that the guy had a good title on the vehicle. There was nobody was looking for it. But of course, back in that day of starting a company, and I wanted to start a luxury transportation company. And honestly, how I came about starting it was that my girls spent time with both their dad and I. But on the weekends, I was pretty much so free. So I needed to find something that I could do on the weekends that primarily was the weekend. And it was never being a waitress. And I love the service industry, but you would never want me to be your waitress. I'm telling you, I can't remember anything. So that's why I started the luxury transportation business. And lo and behold, we just bought our first car. Like I said, wrong color, wrong size, but the dear Lord lets us make mistakes and learn from it. Then you got a second one, then you got a third one, then you got a fourth one. You're still working your day job, you know?
Right.
And then one day I went like, this one has more wins than this one over here. I think let's just go full time with the transportation company.
Okay.
And we just started from there. And it was the most incredible part of that part of our lives. It was the craziest stuff happens in the world of luxury transportation. You have celebrities.
I can only imagine.
You have political people over here, and you have the biggest drug dealers, in the county. But it was not my job to be the sheriff. I just provided point A to point B transportation and just kind of looked like this. I've had some incredible people in my life. And you know, Sherelle and Lee, it's all about building your team to make to build it successful. You know, I have my favorite woman in the entire world is my business partner, Miss Linda Sellers. We've been together for over 20 years. So you can kind of see I'm the kite in the sky. You know what I'm saying? I'm like over there like, yay! And she's the one on the ground going like this to the come on. Well, I would say, you know, Miss Linda, she's still our controller, and we love her. But there are many days that she goes, nope, can't do that. No. And so, you know, but I've been extremely blessed in my lifetime to have some of the greatest people in the world in my lifetime. And it's all a team, and it's all what we do. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
So let me ask you, and I love the fact that you pay homage to the network and the team of people who have supported you along the way and who have been, like you said, the string to keep you grounded. Let me ask you, along the way, did you ever experience any self-limiting beliefs? Did you doubt yourself along the way, especially or even during the space and time when you were a single mom and you recognized that the only way to control your destiny was to control your wins?
That's right. There were many times, girlfriend, every entrepreneur, you know, looks at the bank account and goes, oh, well, you know, but I will tell you that women that have grit never give up. We never give up. We always figure out a way. And when you have really strong people in your life around you that you can come to and say, hey, we got to pivot. So let's figure out how we're going to do this. Okay. And again, I've been extremely blessed to have those people in my life that we can sit down and say, this isn't working. So what do you think about this or that?
Mhm.
And find a new revenue stream. I
Yeah.
mean, women are extremely resilient. I mean,
Yeah.
we just do what we need to do. And I had two little princesses, Courtney and Meredith,
Okay.
who are incredible daughters that had very expensive taste. You know what
Of
I'm
course.
saying? You know? And so Mama had to go to work. There you go.
Mhm. That's understandable.
Yep. So talk about that though. You're raising kids, building a business, and a lot of our listeners. I mean, they have demanding jobs or the demanding businesses, and they're raising their kids. So talk about that. What helped that work for you and your family?
Well, I will tell you this, Lee, that if I did anything right in my life, I picked the best daddy for my children. Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
We didn't make it as a married couple, but Mr. Peele is just an incredible person that adores his daughters. His daughters adore him. And I realized very early on that the most important relationship for my daughters was the relationship with their daddy. It's
Mhm.
not the relationship with their mama. You
Mhm.
know, mama's always had two eyes in the back of the head, and daddy would always say, you know what, I don't believe they would ever lie to me. And I'm there like, oh my God. But that's all right. So the dear Lord said, like the girls would always say, Mama's got two eyes at the back of her head. We can, Daddy just thinks that if we say that the sky has purple clouds and pink, but anyway, no. But it was we realized early on to raise two great girls. We just kind of had to do it where we thought of them first. So.
Gotcha. Yep. Very, very
Love
important.
that.
Now, are either of them are they entrepreneurs or working with the company or taking over or anything?
Oh gosh, these two! I'll tell you a story, Lee, that is so funny. So, in one of my the oldest one, Courtney. I mean, we're talking 12 years of private school, 4 years of undergrad, 2 years of graduate school, and she's a degree in accountancy. So she's a controller, a CPA, bookkeeper, all.
Mhm.
And my controller passed on me really quickly. And I called her in and I said, baby girl, I said, I need you to sit here, look at my books, and just kind of put them together for the CPA. And I remember she walked into my office and I said, this is where you pay back, because Mama did 12 years of private, 4 years
Yeah.
of grad, 2 years of grad. You have no debt coming out of college, right?
And that a blessing.
And I remember she looked at my books and she said, "Oh, I'm out of here, Mom. Bye. See ya." I went, "Daggone it!" And but actually, Lee, it has skipped a generation, and
Okay.
our grandchildren now. We've got Lily, who is 8 years old, which is Meredith's daughter. She's got Lily's Farm Fresh Eggs.
Okay.
And she's got 76 chickens.
Oh wow.
She can read a spreadsheet. She knows how much her chickens cost her, how much her eggs cost her, how much feed is, all that stuff. And she said to me last Saturday, she delivers eggs every Friday. And when she came back, she said, Mama, you do know that I've got over $5,000 in my college fund from this little endeavor.
Oh wow.
I love that.
But yeah.
So, Carrie, do you believe that entrepreneurs are born or made or learned?
I kind of think it's half and half. I don't think I would have been an entrepreneur unless I was kind of forced into it. Does that make sense? That it was kind of chosen for me. But I have the utmost respect for women that take that path of a business owner, because there are many nights that that you have all these folks that are relying on their paycheck on Friday to cash. and it's your job to make sure that it does. You feel that the employees, you love their families as well as you love your own, and you just look out for them. And it's a huge responsibility. It is not for the selfish, let me say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
Not.
but I do have utmost respect for women in the corporate world. And I mean, as my two daughters, they say, hey, listen, I got the corner office with the glass and the secretary, and I'm good with that too. So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
To each his own, for sure.
so.
Well, Carrie, we're going to give you a couple of minutes to grab a drink. We're going to pull you backstage. We'll thank our sponsors. You've got yours. I've got mine. Lee, I saw you pull yours out a minute ago. And then we'll pull you back up, Carrie, and talk a little bit more about specifically funding women in business.
Thank you.
Yes. Hey, so how's it going?
Going well. How about yourself?
Doing wonderful. Thank you all for tuning in today. Please share this with all your friends and people that are sitting around doing nothing. This is definitely this back half is going to be very valuable, especially to folks that are in business or thinking about going into business. And then even, in the corporate world or what have you. I think these stories that we hear from our guests are transferable into whatever life and lifestyle you've chosen. So we look forward to you sharing this and getting more people on board.
That's right.
Yep. Now, Sherelle, what part of the country are you in today?
Today I'm in Georgia. Tomorrow I am in Louisiana.
Okay. All right. Yep. We just got back from Dallas and back in Nashville.
Awesome.
So it's all good. We do want to thank our sponsors. I heard you thanking them earlier. MJC Insurance. So mjcins.com. Feel free to go and get free quotes and just have them check out whatever type of coverage you're looking for. Are you familiar with an umbrella policy? So these umbrella policies are really good for people that have kids, have rental property, have other assets. It's outside of your normal homeowner's policy or your auto policy. It allows, if somebody sues you, it's literally an umbrella policy. If somebody slips and falls at one of your properties, or if your child accidentally hits somebody or anything along those lines, umbrella policies are really good to have. So I do advise that you check with your insurance agent at MJC Insurance and let Leon, Brianna, and Lisa get you the policy that you need for you and your family. Also, Mr. Terrell Perry, I was in a meeting today, and a lot of you all work for companies that provide life insurance, right? And you buy the term policy that they have, and every year it goes up. Well, Terrell can help get you the right policy you need that will be a level term policy. So you'll pay for it. It'll be the same amount for the next 20 years or 25 years or 30, depending on how many years you go out. The other thing is when you leave a lot of these companies, your life insurance stays, right? So this is an opportunity for you to have a policy that's yours, no matter what you do with the company that you're working for. And at the end of the day, if you have assets and you're not leaving something for your kids and your family, shame on you. So stop putting it off, and get to it. You also need to put together a will. So, the things that you need to do, give Terrell a call, shoot him an email, Terrell, Terrell at MolletteInvestmentServices.com, Terrell at MolletteInvestmentServices.com. Also, we all talk about our lives and our careers and our businesses and things that we want to do. And we keep talking about it, but we never implement. Check out Vision Strategy Management and check out the books and programs that Sherelle has that will help you implement all these great ideas that you have to strategize them, but more importantly, implement these great ideas that you have. So, and then if you get a chance, go to the Table website, thetableaction.com. Just check out our website and let me know what you think about what we're doing. Just, some phenomenal things going on with that, and would love to hear your input with the Table. And I think that's all. What else do we have?
Did I tell you that I launched book number 4?
Oh, no. Okay. Congratulations.
Launched book number 4.
Yeah,
It
what's it
is
called?
now in pre-sales. It's called The Weight of the Cape, Knowing How to Let Go. It is a book specifically it's targeted towards women, but it's applicable for all. And it just talks a lot about how while we're climbing, we kind of the pressure that comes with the cape and knowing exactly how to let it flap and wind too. So anyway, more information to come on that. I'm so excited about it. The official release is November 7th, but pre-sales are going on now.
So can they go to your website?
You can go to the website, SherelleLance.com, or you can go to visionstrategymanagement.com. The Weight of the Cape.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Let's get back to Carrie. And hey, everyone, make sure if you have questions or comments, make sure you start shooting those into us. So we want to take some time for Carrie to actually give you some good answers. And we don't want to rush. So don't wait. Don't procrastinate.
Yes.
Get your questions ready.
And we normally get a lot of questions throughout the week. So if you're on, make sure that you ask them now while we have Carrie. But also, if not, we'll get them to her later in the week.
Yes.
So welcome back, Carrie.
Hey, great to be back. Great to be back.
Awesome.
So let's talk, Sherelle, about this jade lending. I'd love to talk about it.
Yes. Let's talk about jade and let's talk about why. Why jade? Talk about it and why.
Why? Well, you remember the story of starting my first business on 3 credit cards. Well,
yes.
Nobody would give me a loan, and that has always stayed with me for as long as I've been in business. And that women are funded, oh my gosh, we're funded only 1% by VCs and angel funds, 17% by banks. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so there was a particular woman, remember I told you I always surround myself with super smart women and folks. And there was an incredible woman named Dr. Lynn Yanyo who had 9 companies. And I sought this woman. And I said to her, how in the world do you do it? And we sat around our dining room table. And we talked about some things that we could do together. And one of my passions and hers also was funding women's startups or funding women that needed capital infusion. Well, Sherelle and Lee, let's just say, you've got the Good Morning America comes to Sherelle and say, hey, Sherelle, we want you to be on Deals and Steals. And you could, we're going to order 5,000 of your widgets. And the only thing on this contract that you need to sign, Sherelle, is that you're going to provide 5,000 widgets and you have to ship them out within a certain period of time after your date on Good Morning America. And you say, yay, let's do that.
Right.
And then you count and say, OMG, how am I going to fund making all these widgets so I can sell them and be in compliance with a contract on Good Morning America or anything else? Funding. Right. That's why Lynn and I started Jade Funding. So every day I go out and hunt accredited investors that want to invest in the fund and have the same passion and mission around women startups and minority startups that don't get the funding and that need it. And Dr. Lynn, she goes out and finds the folks that need this infusion capital, and she's really good at it. So she makes me work really hard in finding investors to put it in the fund. And so we're funding everything from food trucks to dry ice machines to CFOs to Good Morning America shows, okay? And we can turn the cash around in a very short period of time, like in a week, because there's not a whole lot of cooks in the kitchen, as they say. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But do you know what? And I know you know this, Lee. So one of the biggest reasons we're doing this is that, did you know that women pay back their loans anywhere from 95 to 96% all the time.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We pay our loans back.
Yep.
So we want
Loans and bills.
we want to lend women for infusion capital, and we're open for business. So,
All right.
and again, I surround myself with super smart people, and Dr. Lynn is this was kind of her expertise, her superpower. She's had some VCs. She's in VC clubs. She started one or is in part of one and knows the industry backwards and forwards. But we don't take any equity. This is just a simple loan. And we don't take assets. So there you go.
Okay. All right.
It was just somebody needed to do it,
Mhm.
and why not us?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Carrie, do you find it difficult for women to raise their hand and say, hey, I am a good candidate for the funds that you have? If so, and I see you nodding, what do you think that's about? What do you think causes women to?
And every woman that I talk to, and I'm on Zoom all day long from early morning until late at night, that's the first thing that I say is, come on, ladies, raise your hand, ask for it. Women leave $1 million on the table over their lifetime because they don't ask. Please just ask. Asking could be a mentor, a sponsor, somebody just to have a sounding board. And that's why I love these women groups, such as the Women's Presidents Organization, the Women's Business Collaborative, Enterprising Women. Monica Smiley is incredible on Enterprising Women, because us women that own multi-million-dollar companies don't have a lot of friends that we can go to understand what we go through. So there's only 1.2% of us out of all women companies. So yeah.
Wow. So how does someone get in touch with your company if they're looking for a loan? How do they get in touch with you?
Oh yeah, you just Carrie Peele. Just look me up.
All right.
Yeah. Jade Lending, Mako the Shark. Somebody always knows. I'm the oldest lady in Mako, so they just find the old lady and tell her I'm calling. So yeah, but please reach out to us. And again, my job is I look for accredited investors that have the same mission and vision and want to help and do good with their money. Our investors own 5% over the lifetime of the 5 years. And actually, Sherelle and Lee, it's the easiest thing that I've ever had to ask. I have an outpouring of women and men. We've got a man investor in our group, and we thank them every day because they've seen where I was in my early 20s when nobody would take a chance on me. We'll take a chance. We'll take a chance because you're a really good risk.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate that this is pervasive even now. We all know women that have been successful in their own right, and when they get ready to go launch their own company, they find out how difficult it is to get funding to launch the company or to get infusion capital, as you mentioned earlier. It's funny. I was reading you talk about women paying their bills back. So this was a guy that started a company in Florida. I won't put his name on it, but it's a public article. But started a company in Palm Beach, Florida. It was a healthcare technology type company. Of course, they moved to Nashville after getting going. But he was able to just secure 25 million and 10 million and blobs and blobs of money, right? And so he's here. The company has grown. They're up to over 100 employees. One day and Friday, they celebrate the fact that they closed another $25 million round. Monday, they're out of business.
Was there no execution?
But because think about this. His board wasn't really meeting, and they weren't really providing any oversight. They weren't even providing any real, board governance, if you will. They just kind of took what he was saying and said, "Oh, okay, cool." Now, Carrie, Sherelle, you know that wouldn't happen in any of our companies.
No.
Nobody's giving us blind money. And so the guy was booking business that wasn't paying. The way the contracts were written up, where they guarantee, essentially what they said was, if we need the service, we'll use you. But they didn't guarantee any certain number of hours or revenue generating aspect. But he booked that as real business. So once the board finally did start looking at the books and found out they were broke, they had to shut down. They put him out the business, and but again, those things would, and there are more stories like that. That's not, it's not the only one. There are more and more like that. But we know that our companies would never have that type of leeway.
Well, Lee, the only thing that we have is our word.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And our word is our promise. And if I can't give you anything else, I'll give you my word.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So.
It does. It does. And I think we all carry the burden of, I can't screw it up, because if I do, they're gonna stereotype everybody else.
Well, I'll tell you what, there is a lot of women that I know that are not screwing it up, that are really working hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Creating jobs, creating and doing wonderful things for their community. Mm-hmm. I believe all of us should be doing things for our community, whether it's feeding, it's providing. Our nonprofit Athena of the Triangle provides leadership skills to women in the corporate world, mentorships for women entrepreneurs. We provide awards for women that just should get an award.
Wow.
They deserve it, and somebody needs to recognize them.
Yes.
So yeah. So.
And something, I think the whole women kind of hold back from raising their hand. It's a double-edged sword, because we want to make sure that the details are right. It's almost that second guess, that check and make sure, go back around after it, so that when you do present it, you're presenting something that is extremely solid. So when I think about that example, Lee, and I think about just the nature of the hesitancy that women have, it's that double-edged sword, because you get to a place where you have to push forward, and the loop of perfectionism where we get stuck sometimes is what holds us back.
Perfection has killed a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
It prevents them from getting started.
But Sherelle and Lee, we don't have to be perfect. That's we really need to just. There's an old saying in Lynn Yanyo's world, because she's an engineer, and it's shoot the engineer and ship it anyway. It's like, we don't have to have it perfect. Let's just get it going out the door. So
exactly.
Right.
Well, Carrie, we do have a couple questions. So I'll put one up. Alexis says, what is the criteria to qualify for a loan?
Just give us a call. We're kind of these girls that, you have to provide your financials and that sort of thing to us. But honestly, we're ladies that lead from our gut. If you've got the grit, if you've got the fire in your belly, we're lending up to $150,000, and depending upon the interest rate or the payback. But it's growth infusion capital. So if you just want me to pay off your credit cards, no, don't call me. Don't call me. Okay. Right. But if you say to me, I've got a purchase order from Target to do Christmas sales, yes. Right. Or hey, I want to buy a food truck, and you're in the catering business and know a little bit about it. Yeah, let's go. Let's talk about it. But we at Jade Lending say we're not just a loan, we're a community. And one of the things that Lynn and I require you to do with us is do a 15-minute check-in every week with us. Same time, same day. And the reason we want to do that, Lee and Sherelle, is because us two ladies are seasoned. That's another nice way of saying we're old. We've got a big network.
Right.
But if you need something, we got a guy, And
there you go.
that can provide what you need. So, but we're not the bank, so we're not going to provide you like the SBA, where we're going to ask for your firstborn. No, that's not it.
But it sounds like they get a mentor, sponsor, coach along with that loan, right?
Mhm.
At no additional charge.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we love building to the next level. I mean, that is what our passion is, Lynn and the other
Mm.
folks that have invested in this. It's the passion of helping women, helping minorities build their company and create wealth for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
create wins for themselves. So
Mhm.
Wonderful.
And speaking on the mentorship component, Alexis asked, is there guidance or mentorship component to your lending service? So you just answered that.
I mean, we have Athena. Athena the Triangle is an international nonprofit that is all we want to do is help women entrepreneurs be better at what they do, women in the corporate world to learn the leadership qualities. And, we have luncheons and parties and all that good stuff. So, there's always going to be fun with us. There's always going to be fun.
Gotcha.
That is awesome.
So did we have another question? I'm sorry.
We did. And the question was simply, when you think about core attributes that women need to be successful, what comes to mind for you?
Well, it's in your saying right here at the top, grit.
Mm-hmm.
Grit is one. Curiosity. Curiosity is very, very important. Okay. To be a good entrepreneur, it's to build a team. Okay. And just don't be afraid to jump off the cliff.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. So what would you say was the best advice you've ever gotten, and what was the worst advice you've ever gotten?
Well, I would say that the best advice I ever got was back many, many years ago when I was in the transportation world. One of my mentors was Barry Lefkowitz. He was our lobbyist for the luxury transportation business. And Barry said to me back in my early, when I was 25 pounds lighter and, didn't have a whole lot of gray hairs, said, get involved in politics. And the reason why is go and volunteer at the, at the polling booths, and go and be involved in as many parts as you can. And the reason is that someday you may need to go to a politician and talk about some things. So you need to know your name. They need to know your name. But Barry Lefkowitz, who I adore, him and his wife, they're just great people. And that's probably one of my best advices.
Okay, that is good. Really good advice.
Yeah.
And the worst advice that, okay, I may get in trouble, but don't chase dumb money. Does that make sense? We want smart money.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay.
Gotcha.
Don't chase dumb money.
Don't chase dumb money. Yeah.
All right. Well, only
money.
smart money. Okay. Hope we're listening. All right.
Yeah.
So we've got one more question and then we'll wrap for the night. This is going by so fast.
It has. Wow.
And the question is from Cheryl. She says, do you mentor nonprofits to get to the next level?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I personally take the entire day of Friday as my mentoring day. So I love just to kind of ask questions. Remember that curiosity. Mm-hmm. So if anybody wants to talk about things, because I have made every mistake there is in business. Let me tell you, I have made it. But the good thing is that I never do it twice. Okay. So it's Mentoring Fridays for me. We mentor folks in the nonprofit world because we have that. I've got some incredible women that volunteer. Becky Williams, Dr. Tymisha Walker-Smith, Kathy Hunt. They all volunteer. This is not their day job. And they just are incredibly incredible women that make a difference in the world. They really do. They make a difference. So yes, Fridays is Mentoring Friday. So call Carrie. She'll talk.
And so you can find Carrie on LinkedIn, Carrie Peele. Any other social handles that you have?
I think I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
My good friend Colleen takes care of that because I was born in the wrong generation, Lee. Meaning that IT. I'm just kind of look around, and go, anybody know how to fix this thing?
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, you can always find me. I'm real easy to find. Real easy to find. And I do want to do a shout out to my favorite man in the entire world. That's David Franks. He's my husband of 9 years.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a professional musician. He's on the road all the time. He's on a tour bus, and it makes the best marriage. Let me tell you.
So you say he's a musician? Okay.
He is. He has been a professional musician all his life, 53 years playing keyboards and harmonica.
Okay.
And it's called the Band of Oz. And you know, Lee, what beach music is because you were here in North Carolina.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yes. Indeed.
So I have no musical powers whatsoever. I have a C chord, a C chord, but there's always happiness in our house. He's always singing. The piano is always going, and it's a good day in the life of Carrie Peele. Let me tell you.
That is wonderful. Well,
Yes.
this has been exciting for me to get to know you, Carrie. And yeah, the time went by pretty quick today.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, Lee, you kind of joined a little late, though.
If you look at my early post, I was listening in early when you start. We were pulling in the neighborhood, and I signed in.
I'm just kidding. I mean, the time did go by fast. It really has. It's been just amazing, and it's been a great time learning more about you, Carrie.
Thank you, Sherelle. Thank you, Lee. We really appreciate it for all that you do for Women with Grit. We need to have more women talk about it, and we all need to learn, and we all need to have a community. You ought to start that, Sherelle and Lee, a community, an association called Women in Grit. Let's all join.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, don't give Sherelle a charge like that. We'll be up and running soon.
It's already in the bank. It's already there.
Oh, God.
All right. So really quickly, I want to recap on some of the nuggets we captured this evening. Again, Carrie Peele, thank you so very much for your time, for your expertise, just for you being an example and a lead of what it means to be a woman with grit. Some of the things that we've captured was to see the good in things, always accentuate the positive, and recognize that, don't always hear the no, but turn it around and carry on. See how to push your way through. The only way that you could be in charge of your life is by being in charge of your wins. I love that quote, Carrie. That was amazing. Yeah. Be okay making mistakes, but also learn from them. Build your team to build success. Love that as well. Women with grit are women who never give up. So even though it may feel gritty, if you will, don't give up. Don't quit. Keep people in your life who work and also celebrate you. Pick your partner wisely. Pick your partner or your partners wisely. Also, be comfortable with raising your hand and asking for it. Go for it. Step out of the boat. The only thing that we have at the end of the day is our word. So when you speak it, follow through on your commitments and your actions. Do something for the community, whether it's, like you said, feeding individuals, paying it forward or paying it back. Do something. And then also what women need when it comes to being successful, Carrie says grit, but not only grit, be curious. So that's always having the tenacity to learn, build a team. Don't be afraid to jump off of the cliff. And then lastly, of course, get involved in politics, because at some point you want them to know your name if you're looking to make a change. So thank you so much, Carrie. This has been a phenomenal time. And thank you so much. Ebony says it's the wins for her as well.
Yeah. Don't count your dollars, count your wins.
Count your wins. Yes. Thank you so much, Carrie.
All right, family, please like, share. Make sure anyone that you know that missed goes back and takes a look either on our YouTube page, Women with Grit, or our Facebook page, and check out the recording of Carrie Peele out of Raleigh, the Research Triangle Park area. So Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Thank you all.
That's right. Next week, we'll be back at the same time, same place with another amazing woman with grit. So thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. Thanks, Carrie. Thanks. Great to meet you.
Thank you.